then I'm gonna like.
There you go.
Cheers, in spirit. Would you like a drink? Am I being a bad host? Cheers.
I'm actually not a bad host.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different smells coming from like all different directions of coffee.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be scared.
I'm scared. Why am I typing in Alova? Alova, how do I say your surname?
Pavlova.
Oh yeah, wait, so why are you...
A and then Pavlova. A and then lover from Pavlova.
Ah, yeah. Right, so
It's like
your
the
surname's
end.
not Pavlova?
No, Pavlova is our surname.
Yeah. Oh,
A from Arena.
So confusing.
Pavlova. Because then it works for both of our names as well.
Yeah.
That's why a lover's chat.
Yeah.
Pavlova also works.
But then you say a lover.
Yeah,
And
because
you
I
wouldn't
think
say Pavlova?
because in Russian it's Pavlova.
Okay,
as
so you
well.
would say Pavlova.
Yeah.
We're telling you how to speak your own language.
No, because I think it works. Because then a lover, because then you can say
No, it does. I just
I
needed
love a
to know.
lift. And then the lover's
Oh, I
chat.
love a lift.
Oh,
That's
I
how
love
it's-
a lift.
That was the point of it, was it not?
Kind of, yeah. I don't know where a lover even came from. I think it was like at work. We were just drafting names
Oh, I like
because
it.
my friend wanted to DJ. We were just like, oh, what would my DJ name be?
I
And
love her.
now it's,
Yeah, nice.
yeah, that's Instagram handle and such. Do you want to do our intro?
Hello, munchkins. Welcome to the Lovers Chat. You're hearing my hum.
Oh, podcast! Where have I got chat from?
It's the Lovers Chat
Podcast! Okay, so I was right.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll just.
I think you should do your intro.
Oh my.
You're here in my humble abode. Welcome.
Yeah.
It's got to be further.
Yeah.
Right. You need to have that one. Sorry, smacked you in the face. Wait. No,
I
wait,
feel like
wait.
I'm being nursed right now.
You can't be trusted without the furring thing.
No, hold on over, Khalees.
Yeah. You're here with Arena
Agnesa.
and
Charlie.
our first ever guest. You'll be watching this on. It's coming out on Christmas Eve, so this is like a little Christmas gift to you guys and to us actually, because first ever guest.
Yay. And you've got
And-
your Christmas spatula.
We've got yes.
Yeah. Very festive.
Very honoured. Very, very honoured.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming. Wait, I was going to do an icebreaker, but I genuinely don't think the ice needs to be broken anymore.
The ice has melted.
Like we do in our normal episodes, we've got a little overview. So just your recent trainings, any significant events.
Yes.
You can talk about Vlogmas.
Vlogmas.
Yes.
Well, yeah, training at the moment. I'm just Cali training. I'd really love to compete next year in like reps and sets, endurance stuff. So I'm just trying to get that on lock, really. I need to unlock my muscle up. I know we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
like, need to get over that bloody bar. But for now, it's just like, yeah, building the endurance, getting reps and sets up. And then that's the goal for next year. And obviously, I'd love to break a handstand world record, but, you know, might leave that
Watch
to you
this
guys.
space, guys. It's coming next year. 2026 is the year
2026 is the year.
Charlie competes.
Something like that. And then, yeah, I've been doing Vlogmas.
Yeah.
Been doing Vlogmas this December. Every day this December we've been vlogging on YouTube, which is actually like quite
It's
hard.
insane.
It's really intense because the actual vlogging is not hard, but the editing and getting everything out, like so I film a day in advance. So what I film today will go out tomorrow, which is great. So I started the day before, but it's being on it and always making time to do that, even after like a really busy work day, to sit. There have been some nights where I've been editing till like 1 a.m, but it's just been, it needs to go, it needs to get out. And it's been great because it's shown me that I do have time to do things for myself. I just don't prioritize it. So it's like, oh, actually, if you do want it, you can do it. And that's the goal. I'd love to be a YouTuber, actually.
So
It's my
see that
favourite
for
kind of
you.
content.
I see that.
Yeah.
We'll link it down below. Not that there's much
Fit
of
with-
you guys.
Fit with Chaz down below.
Yeah, Fit with Chaz. We'll link everything. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah.
All that jazz. Do we want to talk
Hold that
about?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we?
If you hold it over here, it's not going to pick. You can hold it down, but it's still got to be near you-ish.
This is really like it's me and my stick, you know.
Yeah, why do you?
It's your Merry Christmas stick. You could just, you don't have to use the
No,
stick.
I like it. I think it'd be more unnatural with the mic. I don't really think we have an overview for our weeks of training because we do it weekly. There's not
Well,
really
what have you
much
been
to
doing
add.
this week?
You say that, but
Crying.
You wanna
No
say that
training.
into the mic?
3 sets of tears.
Yeah, facts actually.
Yesterday was a drop set of tears.
Yesterday was German volume training. 10 sets of tears.
Oh gosh, I actually don't remember what this week was.
Have you been training this week?
I have. I'm back on my powerlifting program. I've done week 1 actually. We're on week 2 now. It's been horrible. But it's fine. Because we're moving up. But it's okay. Yeah, I think we should just get into it, to be honest.
Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Yeah, no problem. About Chaz, yeah?
Yeah.
Sound. Okay. I can't do this.
You can.
Okay.
See, you don't have to be scared. It's
Why was I nervous?
Charlie,
Yes, Nessa.
how did you get into fitness or calisthenics?
Well, okay, I've been training in the gym since I was 15. And then I feel like I went through what everyone goes through at some point where they're like, what is the point of just lifting weights? And then lockdown came around and obviously like couldn't go to the gym anymore. Was doing handstands at home and was always really rubbish at them, and then just kind of like gave up. And then I hate to give anything to a man, I really do. But like in 2021, I dated this guy who was into calisthenics. And that was like my first in. I didn't really know what it was. And so I started to try and do like pull-ups and handstands. And from there, like it just spiraled. And then part of the reason why I am where I am today is because he always told me I wouldn't be strong enough and I wasn't good enough to do it. And where, like, obviously now I love where I am. I love what I'm doing. It's like true love for it. But for a long time, it was like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, I'm going to prove that I actually can do it. And I think I was also just so bored of trying to be so small. I always wanted to be skinny. I always wanted to, like, when I was lifting weights, it was always about how I looked. And calisthenics has given me something about like what my body can do for me and how I feel. And that's like changed my life. Not to be dramatic, but
really cute.
yeah.
Comments?
I don't have any. I think that's really cute.
Do
I
you-
really like that.
Do you feel the same? Like, since doing calisthenics, what's changed for you guys?
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I was kind of similar with you. After I stopped training gymnastics, obviously it was like such a big, like it was my whole life.
Yeah.
I literally had to stop. I started to go to the gym just for like rehab and stuff. And I was like you, I was like, why am I just doing these machines?
You even said
I
that
think-
yesterday as well.
Yeah, I think calisthenics just kind of like brought back my love for just like seeing what my body is capable of and like moving it and being so like in tune
Yeah.
with my body. And also, like, I feel like everyone underestimates what they can do. I genuinely think it's insane what people can achieve with their bodies.
Yeah.
And I love it. I don't know.
Especially through something like calisthenics. Like, probably for you guys as well, I'm moving in ways and doing things I never thought I'd be able to do, especially as someone that doesn't have a gymnastics background. I always saw the things that like you guys do and the things that calisthenics people do, and I was like, oh, you know, like in another life. And I may not be as bendy as you, like there is a difference. You can see someone that's done gymnastics and someone that hasn't, but you still can actually achieve a lot of things. Never ever did I think I'd be able to do handstands and stuff like on Bosu boards. Scorpions coming along, touchdown soon. I really need to work on my back mobility, but so much of it comes from shoulders, which I didn't realise.
Yeah.
So much more.
Yeah.
Because I was like, my back doesn't bend anymore.
No, a lot of it is shoulder, especially for like hollow backs. Especially thanks. Especially for like hollow backs and scorpions, I feel like you need some sort of back flexibility, but shoulder mobility is a massive one.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it actually looks like I prefer the hollow backs that are more shoulders than they are bendy.
I've been learning
Sorry.
the difference.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I've been learning the difference and like looking. Oh, I've been learning the difference and looking at people. Like, I didn't realise there was 2 different types. And so I've only recently learned how to get into my shoulders a bit more. It feels horrible.
Yeah.
But
It feels horrible, but it looks really cool. And I think it looks better than the flexibility. I think it just, I don't know what it is, but it looks stronger.
I think it is more strength based.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who bends like
Yeah.
mostly from their back. I find it so difficult to like push through my shoulders. And also I feel like I have a very naturally flexible back. It's so difficult to like stop it from naturally bending.
Yeah.
But I
So you
agree.
need back muscles as well to keep your legs.
Yeah. But best believe if I had that back flexibility, I'd be using my back. I just don't have it, so I'll use my shoulders.
I reckon you could get it to a point where you can get bent leg scorpion to your head.
Yeah,
I reckon you've got that.
I'll try. Give it a go.
You'll get it. Maybe we'll insert a video of your progress.
Yeah, we should.
You should like a yearly update. Be like, get her back in a year. Be like, she can do it.
Can she touch her head? No.
No negativity.
Yes.
Zero negativity on the pod.
No.
Guys, now I've got two mics coming at me. I don't need extra projection.
I was just gonna ask you for the next bit. Like,
yeah.
But we've already talked about this.
Were there
What's
any change? Can you? That is a very simple word that you can read.
Yeah, but
Were there any
changes.
Use your creativity a bit. Were there any changes along your journey that made you who you are, and regarding training or any obstacles that you had to face?
Yes. I have had 2 surgeries to my stomach, which you may have seen. Like, I have scars on my stomach, and I'm actually on the wait list to have another one. And that has been the single like hardest thing I've had to deal with, because you go through, right, so like your fitness journey is your journey anyway. You're weaker to start with, you get stronger, you go through all your trials and tribulations and injuries and stuff, and you don't ever really expect, you might have an injury here and there that takes you out for, you know, a few weeks, a month, or if you break something and you're unfortunate, but like you don't ever really expect to go back to like below square one. So I was born with hernias, absolutely fine, like never a problem, and then they started to hurt in like 2021, I think. And very fortunately, like we had private health insurance, so I had it all done privately, but I had essentially like the top and the bottom. I had one up here and one in my belly button, and I had both sliced open and sorted. But what I didn't realize was like the recovery, you can't move at all when you have top and bottom sliced. If you have the top sliced, you can still move your legs.
Yeah.
If you have the bottom sliced, you can still like sit up. But even things like just moving a pillow like that, you can't do. So it was 12 weeks of not being able to do anything. And then it took me so far back. It was like I'd never trained in a gym before. I couldn't hang from a bar because of the stretch. Like, it was awful. So I had that, and it just took me a really long time to get back to normal. And then 6 months afterwards, the surgery had failed, so I had to have it done again. So then I went through all of that again, and then we found out last year that the second surgery has also failed.
Oh my God.
So I still have like a lump on my stomach, and it's still something that needs to be fixed. But I actually think I'm choosing not to have the surgery again, just because they've told me I'll have to have it after I have kids. So I'm a bit like, well, what's the point in having it now? It takes me a year and a half to get back to, it will take me a year to get back to like normal strength, and now I think I'm the strongest I've ever been. It will take me a year and a half to get back to this. And I'm kind of like, what's the point? I feel like I'm really kind of in my peak, so there's no point in doing that. But that tested me in ways, obviously physically, but mentally that was really, really hard. Because the first time you just kind of go, okay, I need to get it done. I didn't know how hard it was going to be, so you just get on with it. But the second time, knowing I had to have it done again, was like, I can't believe this. Also, the recurrence rate is like 0.4% in morbidly obese old men. So every doctor I see is like, oh my God, like you're too, a huge part of it is like BMI and body fat percentage. So they're like, you're so skinny. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. But they're like, oh, we've never seen this in someone your age or your like fitness level before. And while that's lovely to hear, it's also like, well, yeah, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Like, great. So no one knows what's going on. So that was really hard, but it's also changed the way I view my progress and my body, and it's made me so much more grateful for what my body can do, and the fact that I've come back from it twice, and if and when I do have to have it again, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's fine, because I've done it before. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I don't want to do it, but I can do it, and I will do it. And the next surgery is going to be, they go in and they take out all the mesh, and they're basically going to mesh over my entire abdomen. So I'm going to be like Iron Woman, basically. But yeah, it's quite
cool.
They're going to reconstruct my abdominal wall. So
my
I'll ask them to
gosh.
put a few more abs in there, but
Valid.
but yeah, it's going to be like they'll cut through here because there's a loose stitch there as well, so they've got to take that out, and then they'll go in on the side. So yeah, it's quite a big deal, and I think that's why I'm choosing not to have it as well. They actually called me the other day and said, do you want to have it on the 2nd of Jan? And I was like, well, no, thank you. But I've been on the wait list for like nearly a year, so on the NHS. So it's, yeah, decisions to be made, but I just think that now is probably not the right time to have it done. And I realise that by taking myself off the wait list, it's like, you know, then you kind of lose that opportunity. But I think I would rather wait. I can get on with it. It's more just aesthetic, really. But I don't think you can really notice it. When I'm really lean, sometimes you can see a bump, but it doesn't make a difference to me.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. Do you have any tips for recovery and like what helped you manage through that time? Because obviously you said it's a year and a half.
It's tough.
If people are going through that, then they might be struggling as well.
I think you don't realise how incredible like your body is and how strong the human body is. Even just things like how your back can move, how flexible you can be. Like we can literally fold in half, and you see people all the time saying, oh, I can't do that because of my back, and it's like, well, you can. We are capable of so much more, and I think your body will give you exactly what you ask of it, and if you treat it as fragile, it will be fragile. So a lot of people after my first surgery were like, you really shouldn't train again, and actually there's no science behind that. Like you should be able to do everything you normally can after a hernia surgery, but my body has given exactly what I've asked of it. I said, like, I want to be really, really strong again, and I want to do all these things, and I want to do all the things I never thought I'd be able to do, and it's given me that. Okay, yeah, it's hard, and the training's hard, and recovery is tough, but like you can do, I truly think like you can do everything you want to do, especially after surgery and injuries. You see people who are, you know, half paralyzed being told they'll never walk again, and they do because they want to. I think it is, you've just got to tell your body what you want, and you've got to be willing to kind of stick through the struggle, and acknowledging that like coming back from injury is really tough. Mentally, it really sucks. You're going to feel really weak for ages, but you can either feel really weak and give up and be weak forever, or you can go through that tough part knowing that like it's bringing you back up physically and mentally. You will get through it. Time is an abstract like measure anyway, so like time's gonna pass. You might as well try and get stronger again. And I think, yeah, you can do anything you want to do, really. So,
well, you've done really well. You're very, very strong. An inspiration.
I'm trying to be.
You are. You've done so well, and can't wait to see where you're going.
Me too.
I think you've done quite a good job of doing that in a question, to be honest. I think we will move on to the main section. It's kind of more themes, just to get your opinion about some of the stuff we have spoken about a bit, but it's actually coming to the social media aspect is what we spoke about last week, I believe.
Yes.
Thanks for that addition. Do you want to ask some questions? Because I feel like...
Sorry, I feel like I'm doing a lot of waffling.
That's
It's
what you're here
your
for.
podcast. You're the star.
You're the star
Oh
of the
god,
week.
say that again.
We yap
You're
all
the
the time.
star. It's actually going to be called Star of the Week. So
Oh,
you're our first star.
star of the week.
I'm going to do highlights for stars as well, actually, I think.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Each star gets their own highlight. Yeah, yeah,
That's so
yeah.
sweet.
Get ready for this, man.
Yeah, for all guys.
Okay. For anyone... Sorry.
You can, like, adjust the question to your speaking style as well.
I like this. Okay, just can't speak in general. Okay, so for anyone new to your content, how would you describe what you do?
Ooh. I think this probably ties into what I've kind of already said, but my whole content and style of what I try and put out there is all about like what your body can do rather than what you look like. Ironically, I look the way I've always wanted to look now that I've stopped focusing on it. And I've got like the physique that I used to kind of dream of. I mean, there's always wham, there's always further to go, right? But like it's something I never would have accomplished if I was so focused on it. But like the fact that I'm focused on what my body can do and now can do all these amazing things, like that's what I try and put out there in content. There is just so much more to what you look like. And like, I again hate to give anything to like the Kardashians, but one of them said once like, your body's the least interesting thing about you. Do you remember that? Yeah. And I really think that like that is so true, because it's like we all have bodies. We're all so caught up in the social media like societal standards that are going to change again next year, and so if you're trying to chase that, you're always going to be chasing. But like being strong and being able to do really cool things is never ever going to go like out of style. So yeah, that I hope that's what I portray.
I think you definitely do. I was going to say we could kind of touch on what we think that like what comes across like our impression. Do you want to start?
What do you, when you look at my content, what do you think?
I don't know. I like, it's very like heartwarming to me. I'm always like very like reassured by your content. I don't know. I always feel like I don't know.
I want
But
people to feel
reassured is
seen
nowhere.
when they see it. I want people to be like, oh, like, that's like me, or, oh, I fit into that, or I fit into, or like, oh, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want, because I think so much of social media we see, and it's like incredible people doing amazing things, and you're like, oh, I never get that, or I never feel this. And like, also part of the content that I do is like, I want it to be, it's very happy, and it's very
Yeah.
like, I want you to know that I'm cheering for you, and like,
Yeah.
I'm here with you, and I've been through
Yeah.
it, and like, that's also why I do workshops, because I'm like, oh no, I get it, like, I want to
Yeah.
help you. And then
I don't think I've ever met like such a supportive person. Like
don't
you.
I'll cry.
No, like I feel like reassured. I feel like, yeah, this is the positive side of social media. I kind of really dislike social media. I'm starting to really dislike it, but the only reason I still go on to it, or like, I feel better when I see stuff like that,
Yeah,
and I feel like that's what we need to put out there
100%.
rather than other stuff.
But that's like your recent reel. Like, I loved that. I mean, obviously, because I'm jumping around in the
Guys,
background.
that's Charlie, and I feel like I don't know, it like genuinely every time I watch it, it makes me smile.
It makes me cringe. Because I'm like, oh my god, like, why am I jumping?
No, honestly,
But it's cute, yeah, no.
it makes me smile.
But I remember seeing it because you were so close to having ring muscle up the last time I saw you, and then you were like, I don't think I can do it. I was like, you definitely can. It's just like the right time of day and the right mindset and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
You know what a recent reel I liked of yours, like especially, I like all of them, but disclaimer. I was made to be a cheerleader one.
yeah.
I really liked that one.
I really do. That what's that trend? The like, yeah, it was the trend of like, I thought you were mean when I first saw you. And I'm like,
I think that
I mean,
was
no
really
one's ever said
cute.
that to me because I'm such an oversharer from the start. But like, I was trying to think of a caption, and I was like, well, this is the only thing I can. Like, it's the thing that keeps coming to mind is like, I've been thinking a lot about the future of my career and the future of what I'm doing and how to scale things, because of course you want to keep building. But I'm also like, you know, there isn't really scaling in coaching. We were talking about this earlier. I don't coach for money. I coach for the love of it. And I truly feel like a big part of why I'm good at what I do is because like, I genuinely mean it when I'm like, I want you to succeed. I love seeing it. And I think different people are put on this earth for different things. And I truly, as like, cheesy as it sounds, like, think I was put here to help other people and to bring, like, even if it's just to bring a bit of positivity and to like be a bit of a cheerleader. Like, I love it. I loved being and I think that's a skill I didn't realize for a very long time. Some people are really good at maths and really good at, you know, admin and really smart at coming up with different ideas, and I'm like, okay, I can't boast all of those skills, but what I can tell you is I genuinely am in your corner, and I always want you to succeed, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. And obviously that usually comes through calisthenics coaching. I also think when you're really aligned with something, I wasn't very aligned with general gym coaching, and I really hated it. I've been a coach for 5-6 years, and I just never enjoyed it. And then this year I feel like I've really come into my own with workshops, with obviously like the Cali Link Up stuff, and with online stuff and all the events that I've been coaching at. I've been like, okay, this is where I want to be, because it's obviously mainly women doing things that they didn't think they could ever do. I'm like, that's my niche. So yeah, it's cool. And I think when you're aligned, when someone feels really passionate about something, you can really tell.
You definitely can. It
Yeah,
definitely comes
you can
across
see right
in everything
through.
that they do as well.
100%. 100%.
I think that was really well said, and it does come across a lot in your account. And you know how you get the stories at the top of your... There's only a certain few people's that I want to see, because I actually don't care about that many people.
Yeah.
Like, not to be mean, but yours is like always like the first one that comes up, and I'm like, yay! Also, I love your profile picture.
Thanks. Oh yeah, thanks. She's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm really struggling. I was saying to Ed this morning, I'm really struggling with social media at the moment, because I just feel like so much of it, obviously it's always been performative, but so much of it at the moment is so performative. So obviously there's a lot of like, we should be supporting each other, we should be commenting, but I feel like I open Instagram and it's like an obligation. Every post I see, like, leave a comment. You're so strong, you're so great, this, that, and the other, da 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 da. And it feels more like, instead of seeing content I really like and leaving an authentic comment, it feels like I've got to leave this, especially in the calisthenics community. And that's actually why I quite like TikTok at the moment, because I see things that are not relevant. Instagram is feeling like a job.
Yeah.
And I also understand that to a degree you do have to do your engagement and building community and that kind of stuff. But I do feel like we've lost a lot of the authenticity with Instagram, because I don't think people comment on my stuff anymore because they truly are like, wow, I really loved that and that really resonated. Things like the cheerleader one, maybe.
Yeah.
When people leave actual words, but a lot of the time it's just fire emoji,
It's the top huge
wow,
ones, yeah.
like, and it's just like, I appreciate you commenting. I really appreciate it for the engagement, but I am feeling, I mean, I haven't posted in a while because I just feel a bit like, oh, I don't even want to open Instagram. As you say, in the nicest way possible. I don't care about most of the stories I'm seeing. Instagram's also not showing me people I actually want to see. It's showing me all these random people that I'm like, I don't remember following you, and sometimes I don't follow them, and it's a difficult, I'm just finding it difficult. And I don't know if that's just like also just end of year, feeling a bit knackered, need some time off, but I do think that, like, especially in the calisthenics world, it's quite
We were literally talking about this yesterday, walking back from the gym. We were just saying how, like, we feel like, to an extent, it's becoming a little too performative.
Yes.
That it's losing its authenticity.
Yeah.
Like, even earlier this year, I don't know, maybe because I wasn't, like, because I only really started getting into the calisthenics, like, community this past year. I don't know, I just feel like I still love it, and I still think it's a great community, but, like,
everyone's trying to get famous.
I don't know.
Low-key.
I don't know.
Like, not that it's a bad thing at all, but I think it just is very overwhelming that
it's overwhelming.
Everyone's posting every day. I'm fair, you're on your grind. I respect that, but it's just because there's so many people that you follow. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah. And I also think, like, I don't know if you felt this, but I've really felt event fatigue recently.
Yes.
Because obviously calisthenics is having its moment, which is amazing. Like, the sport is finally getting seen. People are coming into the community, and obviously we want the community to continue growing. It benefits us in terms of, like, social, it benefits people like me because I run workshops and stuff. It's great. I want new faces, but everywhere I turn there's a million things going on, and it's like, oh my god, what do I do this weekend? Well, I've got 5 events over 2 days, and I should go to all of them because I should really try and support, and I should be there, and it's good for networking, and it's good for my skills, and and then you get home and you're like, oh my god, it's Monday, like, back to work, and I just feel I'm actually so excited to leave London for a week.
I can imagine,
because I'm like, I need some time away. I need some time to, like, actually just be in the gym with my headphones in, doing my pull-ups and handstands, rather than being at every event. And again, I think it's great that people are building their own communities and stuff, but I also think that at every corner someone started a new community, and then I think a lot of people don't understand how much goes into building a really successful either community or event kind of business, I suppose. And I think a lot of people are not going to be willing going forwards to putting in as much work as they need to. So, you know, for example, some of the communities have been around for a year, and a lot of them run events, don't make any profit, and people don't see the behind the scenes of that. People see, oh, tickets cost this much, and that guy must be raking it, you know, in, and it's like, well, actually no. And again, you don't go into it for money. I just think it's tough because everyone's got a community now, and what happened to just actually being part of a community and being a villager, like being
there's nothing
a lot of people are
with that.
coming up with events and new communities and pages, but aren't willing to go to other people's and support theirs, and then are wondering why people don't come to theirs. You have to be a villager. It takes that, like, if you want a village, I don't know,
It takes a village,
it takes a village,
It takes a village to have a village.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually going to add to that, because we left the last CLU early, apologies, but there was just too much going on, and it's not even like you can have good conversations with people and actually, like,
because it's
cherish
loud,
friendships that you have there. It would just be like, hi, how are you? And then it's just everyone trying to film something, and again, I get it, it's just a lot, and having, like, that was one event. I can't imagine having, like, 5 on, like, multiple on in a weekend.
I think that's going to be my thing next year, is to be maybe a little bit more selective with where I go and where I put my energy, and not because I don't want to go to everything, because I'd love to. It's not that, you know, certain events are rubbish. It's just, like, in terms of being the best version of myself for other people, especially because I coach at these things. It's like, you know, if I'm coaching or being at 5 different events, I'm not going to be the best version of myself, and someone's going to ask me to teach them to handstand and be like, yeah, all right. Whereas that's not actually how I feel. I want to be like, oh my God, yes, absolutely, come over here, you know, let me show you this and that. So I think, being a little bit more selective with it. I think also by the time we get to kind of next summer, some of the communities will have died out, some of the events will have stopped, and it will be more, you'll have your kind of big names of things that you go to, and then your little
Yeah.
kind of training groups in between.
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll be a bit more established. Obviously, calisthenics just took off so massively this year.
literally
No
gonna
one
say
really
that, yeah.
knew what to expect, and no one really knew how it's going to work out. And I think kind of by the summer, it will have almost been a year of it being really popular, and it will settle down, and we'll find like a norm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say it's like well, I feel like we're going through the period where it's that immediate boom of everything,
Yeah,
and
hype.
it's just
Everyone's jumping on it,
yeah,
and it's
a
almost
lot.
like see who's still there
Yeah,
later on. Yeah,
I think it will balance itself out.
yeah.
Hopefully. Do you have anything to add?
Not really. I agree. We were also saying that like we feel like we need to take a bit of break from events because like you said, we want to try be there for everyone and support, but at the same time it's like every week you're going somewhere. Like it's literally been for the past like maybe few months or so, it's been almost every weekend has been like dedicated to like an event or something. And it's just like I want to kind of get back on my own progress and just like
yeah, and do your own training and
yeah.
And also like events are really fun, but if they're all the same, why am I going to 4 a weekend that are all the same? If you've got something that's a comp, and then you've got something that's maybe a freestyle workshop, and then you've got this, and then you've got like something like CLU, which is always just
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Great. But if you're always just going to things that are just calisthenics, social, and jam, and then it's like, well, which ones do I go to,
Yeah.
or am I going to all of them? Because now I'm knackered. I've done 3 days of it, but I've not done any of my own training. Like,
Yeah.
I almost think next year I'll treat it as like once a month, go see where I'm at, try a new skill, kind of see the progress,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, obviously different because I'll be
Yeah.
coaching, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else is like I feel like I don't know, it's quite exciting when you have like something, for example, like CLU like once a month
yes,
to like
look forward to.
look forward to
Yeah, yeah.
and like wait to like show your skills that
Yeah.
you've learned over the past month. Whereas like every week it's like I have nothing new to show. Like
Yeah, I've got the
I
same
don't
stuff
know,
as
yeah,
before,
same
and also
thing.
you want to be like, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
everyone there. I can't wait to do this, rather than, oh, I've got this, which is what
Yeah.
I'm doing at the moment. I'm like, oh, this weekend I've got this, and like I don't actually feel like that. But also I think calisthenics taking off this year has been amazing, but it's become my entire personality and my entire identity, because it's such a big part. It's my hobby and it's my job. You know, it's my job in
Yeah.
terms of online coaching and workshops and
of course.
coaching at events. I actually do have a life outside of fitness, and I would like to, but at the moment I don't, because I'm working Monday to Friday and a lot of my work is fitness, and then the weekends I'm doing fitness stuff. And there's something to be said about building a community and building and grinding for it, and you do have to show up even when you're tired, you know, in the early stages of something. But I do think that probably at this point I'm like, okay, I've built like pretty solid community, like I've launched my retreat, which is great, I've done workshops, I know I'm gonna go away now over the next month, and like I'm not running workshops in January, really like brainstorm, okay, how do I want next year to look in terms of my personal business and in terms of where I show up and where I put my energy. And I think that's all you can do really, because obviously you can't control who's running events and what's going on, but I think there's also it's more so the guys in the calisthenics community, but there's a lot of like chat about who's not supporting who and who's doing this, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of any like Instagram beef, calisthenics beef.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here to support the girls mainly. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that, and I think that's a good way of looking at it, because I don't know, I feel like if you're supporting everyone, I get that, and it's very good, but then it just doesn't seem genuine anymore.
And that comes back to like losing the authenticity
Yeah.
online and in person. If you're,
Yeah.
I also just don't have the social battery to be everywhere
No.
all the time. I love my sleep.
Literally.
And sometimes I
Yeah.
actually don't want to talk to anyone.
So real.
So I just actually need to be at home. Sometimes all the time. No, sometimes like I need to have a Sunday reset. I need to get up, be in my pajamas, like, have breakfast and clean the house and do an everything shower. But I can't do that if I've got 3 events that day.
Yeah. You need to.
And I don't know, I genuinely feel bad when I like go to an event and I know I'm not my best self. I know I'm really not in the mood to like talk to people. And firstly, I feel like I just like look so.
She's a
like,
nonchalant queen anyway.
She is.
I feel like when I'm in my like antisocial mood
She's
too,
mysterious.
it's like
I bet you there are people there being like, who's that girl? Wow, like she's so mysterious.
what do you think? Guys,
Come
when
on,
I'm
let's
I'm
Sorry.
telling you now.
And it's
I know. Sorry
No,
to
it's like-
interrupt you.
No, it's fine. But like, I feel bad when I can't give my everything, and that's coming from someone who's like, you know what? Separate episode, but like, if you actually know who I am as a person, you'll know that I'm really not that sociable, and this past year has been very difficult for me to become a lot more sociable. And I feel like when I can't give it my all, I just get upset, and I feel like I've like just like lost, like I've just
Like
gone
all the
back,
work you
like,
put in.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel I
get
don't know.
that.
I need to go to like these events with like a full cup.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps, I've never seen you at an event and thought, oh my God, what is wrong with her?
That
I've
really
just-
does help.
Yeah,
because
no,
I
genuinely. Because I also just think like I am overly like bubbly and happy, and the first person you see usually when you walk into events will give you a hug and da da da. But like also that's not real for everyone. Like that is real for me, but I can do that for like 3-4 hours, and then I need that recovery. And it's like okay to not be super bubbly, super like in everyone's faces, because I'm sure some people actually find that really annoying. Like I'm not for everyone, and you can't be for everyone. And there might be some people who are like oh my, she never speaks or she never says anything, but also a lot of people are like, oh, she's so cool,
But like,
she's really cool and she's really lovely, and you just have to actually be able to talk to her. But again, as you were saying, like a lot of the time you can't talk to people, and so like people don't necessarily know you because they know you as like, oh my God, she's got a super flexible back, but they don't know you because you don't get to talk to people at these events. You actually don't, and if you do, it's quite surface level, because how do you get deeper than that?
That's the thing.
Yeah, you can't really. But you have been doing really well this year. I think you've grown so much as a person. So
As someone that didn't know you from before, now hearing that, I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you.
so
Yeah.
cute.
Okay.
Guys, everyone cry. 3 sets of tears.
Pause the video right here and do your daily self-tears.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, that as well.
Leave us a
to
5-star
Charlie's-
rating.
And to Charlie's. Did you ever expect to share your journey online? Like, what actually made you start social media?
So, okay, I always wanted to have a fitness account. And I actually went to Texas for university for a year. My second year of uni, I went to UT in Austin. It was so cool. It was like exactly what you would imagine as university. It was like keg stands and football games and house parties. It was so cool. It was like the year leading up to COVID, so I left early. But it was really, really cool. And I remember thinking, it was late 2018. No, I was 18, so it was like 2019. I was turning 19. And I remember thinking, if I'm going to go there, like I have a chance to almost be someone new. So if I go there with a fitness account, no one's going to be like, oh, look at her trying to start a fitness account. It's just like, oh, she's got one. Whereas, you know, if you were to start something today, there'll always be people being like, who do you think you are? So I was like, right, I just need to make this. And so I made it and I started posting. And I just remember like filming everything. I remember filming everything landscape, because at the time that was what Instagram liked. It liked that. Like, and then lockdown happened and I used to film. We lived in the Caribbean. My parents were out there for work. So I used to film like home workouts by the pool. And obviously like everyone was on social media in lockdown and it looked nice. And it was like, so that's when started to kind of work. And I think regularly about, if I had really pushed in lockdown, 100% I'd be on hundreds of thousands of followers now. But also at that time, I was really in the deep depths of disordered eating patterns, hating the way I look, training twice a day and eating nothing. And like everyone was like, oh my God, you're so fit and healthy. And I was like, oh yeah. Knowing that I was like actually in the deep depths of it. So it didn't quite take off the way I wanted it to. But that's also when I started YouTube. And again, as I was saying earlier, subscribers went up really fast. I mean, really fast. Like I hit a K really quickly, which is very hard on YouTube. It's the toughest platform to subscribe, like get subscribers to. But at the time, like everyone was on social media because we were all locked down for the first time and no one knew what was happening. And that was the time of like running 5Ks and baking banana bread, and like the fitness industry was really booming. Yeah, literally peaked back then. So I think like I always wanted to, and I always thought, I don't know, some weird part of me has always thought like, oh, I'd love to, I think be famous is the wrong word, but like I'd love to be seen. And that I feel like I don't know how this is going to come across, but like I feel like I'm made for that. I would love. So I see a lot of fitness influencers and I think there's a few of them that I'm like, you were made for this. You are so genuine and lovely. And then there's a lot that I've met quite a lot of fitness influencers now, and they always say don't meet your heroes, and I really think like that's quite true. I've met a lot who are actually very rude. I've trained at gyms with similar ones, with some of the influencers who go set up 3 cameras, do a set and leave. That it's not real. So if I can tell you one thing, it's not real. Most of this isn't real because I don't know. Anyway, getting off track, like I always think like if and when I do make it, like it will be authentic, and I don't mind it taking longer because I'm not willing to sell out. And it's like if I make it, it will be because of who I am, and it will be because of the message that I spread on Instagram, and like it works, rather than, I don't know, following trends and stuff. But I always feel to some degree I'm like, I've always been quite dramatic and oversharing, so I'm like, well, that's a recipe for success online.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's an issue in any way, honestly, as long as you don't share things you don't want to share, which
that's a skill in itself.
yeah,
learning how to let people in, because a lot of this is like, people want to know you.
yeah, of course.
The reason why people do so well online is because they share their life, but you have to be quite selective about it, and there is a skill to allowing people to feel like they know you without letting them take over. And it's not fake. It's not like, oh, you can know this version of me. It's like, if you think of it as like, I always think of it as like a castle, right? You know, like castles have moats, and it's like you let them over the moat and over the bridge into the castle grounds, and they get to see the grounds and they get to see what's going on, but they don't get to come into the castle, because that is reserved for my friends and my family and my personal life, which there isn't much of at the moment. But when there is, like, that's what that's reserved for. So you have to allow people to know about you, and you have to give them insight, which is why I love YouTube, because you can just chat for hours. But you have to, you know, keep some privacy. You actually never know who's watching. You never know what people want from you, and not to be cynical about it, but you know, it's very easy to slip up and let your location go, and for people to know where you are.
Scary people out there.
And to film when you're leaving your front door and leave the door number in and stuff like that. Like, you have to be quite careful about that. But even I won't let it slip where we're going, if we have a trip planned, or where we are, you know, if we've got things coming up. It's like, what's the saying? It's like, hustle in secret, hustle in private, like do the silence. Thank you, grind in silence, like do the work silently, and then let people in, and then so there's some things like we're working on that we're documenting the process of behind the scenes, but it won't come out until it's all finished, and that's quite fun, because then you still allow people to see the process, but it's like in your own time when you're ready. So like finding the balance between letting people in and not letting them take over is it's hard. But I think also, like, I've been doing social media since 2018, so it's got natural now. It's natural now, and like I'm not that interesting if someone wants to know about me. It's like there's not that much, you know, there's no big skeletons in the closet, and there's nothing crazy to share, so it's like just a normal person living a normal life. But
how do you stay connected to your goals when comparison creeps in?
I'm really struggling with this at the moment. I don't know what it is. I think it's also this time of year, and like just coming to the end of the year, and seeing, and this goes back to social media. Obviously now my social media is just full of calisthenics people, whereas before it was like general fitness people. It's now full of the 1%. So I'm now comparing myself to the 1% of the 1%, and amazing people like Grace and Anna and you guys in terms of handstands and bendy stuff, and I go, oh my god, like I'm never going to be that good in this, that and the other. And then you have to remember that like we are the 1% of the 1%. And it's never normal to compare yourself to such a small pool of people. That's like comparing yourself to Olympians and being like, oh, never be as good as them. Or like, yeah, probably not. Like, it's fine. I think just, again, coming back to the original message of like, look at what your body can do. What their bodies can do for them is amazing, but that's not about you. Because also, like, we'll be friends forever, but like we also might not know each other in a year. So what is me comparing myself to you gonna do for me? It doesn't actually benefit me positively at all. It's something I've really struggled with this year, especially I've got such a lovely friendship group now of really strong, talented people. It's tested me, not personally, not in terms of like their personalities and who they are. It's actually not about them at all, but it's tested me being around such strong, incredible women, especially because a lot of the time it's very easy to slip into, but she's just so much better than me, especially when you're doing like collabed reels, and it's like, oh, she's way stronger, she can do way more. But I find it also very inspiring. You should never be the strongest person in the room. You should never be the smartest person in the room, because then you're in the wrong rooms. So like being around, let's say, people like Grace, I find it so inspiring because she's and also because she's just lovely. Like if I think
most pure-hearted people I've met, honestly.
I think like they have to be nice also, because otherwise it's just a recipe for disaster. But you know, you're supposed to surround yourself by people who inspire you, and I think the reason it works is because Grace always really supports me, and like it's not just I'm looking up to her, she is so supportive of me and so helpful, and it's very mutually beneficial. So I've never ever looked at her and gone, I'm not as good as her. It's like, I can't wait to be as good as her. I can't wait to do what she's done, and you know, she's been training calisthenics much longer than I have. So it's hard, but I think you just have to remember that like you cannot, it's a tale as old as time, you cannot compare your month 4 to someone's year 4, or you're, you know, this is like my 3rd year of training calisthenics, but she's been doing gymnastics and Cali training, you know, since she was little. You can't compare, and comparison doesn't do anything for you. I mean, you can compare if you like, but you're still going to be in the same position.
Yeah, it's just going to make it worse for yourself.
You can either compare and be miserable, or you can get on with it.
Yeah.
So the outcome's pretty much the same. It's just one is happy and one isn't.
Yeah.
So I think you do just have to choose. You almost have to label the thought. It's actually a therapy technique. You have to like acknowledge the thought as it comes in, label it, put it in a box and compartmentalize it and be like, this is an emotion that I'm having. This is why I'm having it. It's entirely valid for me to feel this way. Usually it's an ego thing. It's like, because it threatens you, you know, in a very safe way. And you have to go, okay, cool. It's okay to feel like that. It's absolutely fine. This is why I feel like that. I'm just going to pop that feeling there, and I'm just going to pop it away because it doesn't benefit me right now. I've acknowledged it. I've allowed it to come about, and now it's not serving me anymore. And you almost have to say like, thank you to your brain. Like, thank you for doing this because it's trying to protect me from something, but I no longer need you to do that for me. So thank you for that. Away.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way of thinking of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of therapy techniques that actually really help with like fitness stuff.
Yeah.
And like just thinking about mindset and mental health, and it's I've been through therapy, so I've got a lot of them. Another episode.
Yeah. We'll rerun it when she gets her scorpion.
Not invited back until my toes touch my head.
Sorry, no candy. Joking, we love you. We'll have you on every week if we could.
That's it, 3 sets of tears.
I think because it is holidays and you've spoken a lot about body image already, I think it'll be quite nice for people. Not nice, that's just not the right word, is it? It'll be quite interesting for people to hear, especially because around the holidays you're eating more than you're used to. Maybe you're not training as much because you have to go see family, like situation might not allow for. So just in terms of how do you cope with pressure and with that sort of stuff around the holidays, how has that changed over time as well? Just thoughts and feelings.
I was having this conversation this morning with Ed and saying like, oh, I haven't trained for 3 days, probably won't train tomorrow either, and it is literally it's situational. We've had so many Christmas things. I go home tomorrow, I have to go and find a Pure Gym near me, but sorry, do you guys train at Pure Gym?
Yes. we take that yuck
okay,
and we exude
empathise.
it 10 times.
Okay, cool. I thought I just like really insulted your favourite place.
Absolutely.
But
That's
it's
step too far.
Step too far. You need to come and train at Gymbox. Free plug. It's hard, right? Because obviously you go from being so disciplined and then you've got all these social events, and I will never ever be, I've done the whole tracking thing, I've done the whole watching your food and saying no to things. It's miserable, and I will never be that person. So I'll never be that person again. You know, I've been there. But it is a case of, so I'm struggling at the moment because I mean, I'm like definitely due my period any day. So you just feel a bit rubbish at that point anyway. Definitely eating more. I mean, I start every day with my advent calendar, as you should.
Yeah.
And then
Christmas.
you know, there's Christmas plans and Christmas events, and I'm not necessarily training because my routine's about to change. And we're women, and our brains are so cruel. I mean, Ed actually said to me this morning, he was like, you are amazing, you look great, and it's the female brain, like you, and same thing, he was like, you need to acknowledge it, and you need to like just know that like that's just your brain being silly. And you almost have to be like, no, I'm not having that. Like, I'm not listening to it. Normal clothes, struggle. Oh my God, I went out last night and like put on a really nice outfit. I felt huge, but I felt like this. And the only picture I like from last night is when I'm like this, because I'm like, oh, thank God, she's still in there. The gym girl's still in there. But I really struggle with that kind of thing. Whereas when I'm wearing a sports bra, leggings, trackies, like I feel like it's, you know, flattering. So I do just think that at this time of year you just have to give yourself some grace. You have to be kind to yourself. You also have to know that realistically it's probably only really a week. You don't lose as much progress as you think in a week. You don't gain as much weight as you think in a week. You are allowed to eat whatever the hell you like. Whatever you like. Because like also life is actually too short to be saying I need to have meal prep on Christmas Day. You should absolutely start Christmas morning with your chocolate coins that you get in your stocking, if you get those. My younger sister is still quite young, so we still get stockings.
That's cute.
Yes. That's cute. But like,
I think we still do as well, actually.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. I've started doing stockings for my Father Christmas has started doing stockings for my parents.
I don't think there are any children watching this. If we are, thanks, children.
What are you doing?
If we are, I'm scared.
Those children are going to come in 10 years being like units. Like,
but I've started doing
Father Christmas.
Sorry, Fit with Chaz ruined it for me. No, I started doing stockings for my parents because I think the
That's
longer
so
I do it for them, the longer they'll do it for me.
We need to do that.
You should.
That's-
It gets expensive real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've done my Christmas shopping, I'm good.
But yeah, like this time of year, it's also winter, it's miserable. We do eat more in the winter, like you eat kind of heavier stuff. I think it is just a case of like, again, acknowledging, especially as female brains, I mean, you kind of have to hope that you're like in your lovely follicular phase over Christmas, which I don't think I will be, but like just knowing, obviously tracking your cycle and knowing where you're at really helps, because you can, when these thoughts come to you, you can be like, oh no, this makes sense because I'm week 3 and I really struggle in week 3 or whatever it is. But just giving yourself some grace and knowing that like we're actually all going through it. And like, would you ever actually really want to be a man? No. Clip that. Although I do think quite often I'm like,
I think I'd be
the
a
best
great
boyfriend
man.
ever. I'd be the best husband. Like,
right?
I'd be so great because
But
I know what
think
women
that's
want.
coming from a female's point of
No,
view
it
as
is.
well. So
Yeah, it is.
just, yeah.
But like realizing how different men and women are is actually nuts. Like they do genuinely reset every 24 hours, and there's not much going on. Whereas with us, you know, like there's constant chatter, constant of our own thoughts and our own feelings, and like I genuinely walk past the mirror. There are times of the month that I can't look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And especially like
Same.
around Christmas time as well, when things change, I'm like, do you know what? Big jumpers, hoodies. That's the other thing. Like, wear what makes you feel comfortable. You don't need, like, if you don't feel comfortable at this time of year, like I don't wear leggings actually anymore.
I legitimately hate them so
Leggings
much.
actually like make my skin crawl.
I've given myself the legging ick, is what I'm calling it. And I used to love leggings. And now I'm like, shorts and trackies and a sports bra, great, because it makes me feel good. So like, eat what you want to eat, enjoy it. It's Christmas, it happens once a year, and just like do what you can to make yourself feel comfortable is what I would say, in a very long-winded way. Short story long.
Shorts, I like that. Also, with winter as well, it's Christmas, it's winter. You don't need to be in a bikini.
No.
Not necessarily, like, in general, unless you're in Australia.
Also, we're all pale in winter. Do you know how much of a difference a tan makes?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So much. I looked at a picture of myself the other day and I was like, wow, who is she? Like, she was
She's
toned,
a
tanned, fit and
tan.
ready, you know, in Snoop Dogg's
The
words.
way to be. Snoop Dogg, we're coming for you.
Snoop Dogg, if you're listening, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, tell a friend.
If you want to be the second star of the week, you can be.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not number 1.
Sorry.
We really do apologise.
Sorry, Snoop.
Sorry, dog. Really sorry, I'm going like, I'm
That's
going
enough of that.
insane.
That's enough. Take the mic away from her. Next time we'll hang them from the ceiling.
Mistletoe?
Oh.
No. Spatula?
What? Cute.
Okay. Crying.
Oh, thanks for this tensing. She's really done the job.
I'm really glad. I didn't get the big one, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you won't be invited back, so. I mean, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Oh, fake friends.
Like, head out.
And Tenzing, you can sponsor us.
Yeah, Tenzing, if you're listening.
Sponsor
Spon-
Charlie first.
Charlie's your biggest fan.
Charlie
Tenzing.
We're your second biggest fans.
Guys, Tenzing. Snoop Dogg also loves you, so it's a win-win for
Does
everyone.
he?
No, I have no idea.
Oh,
Cut
He
that bit out.
does. Snoop Dogg, don't sue us, please.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
anyway, yeah.
Snoopily.
No wonder your episodes are so long.
This is our crackhead
No wonder
hour.
yeah, nice. I like it. I'm here for it.
Actually, every hour is our crackhead hour.
Yesterday, we had the worst laughing fit. This is so not relevant to the podcast. We just had the worst laughing fit, and we were on Skype to our grandma because she lives in Russia. And she started to get mad.
No, she wasn't getting mad. She was so confused. I mean, I would be because
Because what is going on?
she was laying on the sofa. You know, like a sphinx.
Yeah.
I'll show you the picture afterwards. I've turned it into a sticker. Anyway, she was laying there and she was like trying to explain like about her job or whatever. She was like, "Oh, I've stopped for Christmas and I've just stopped." The way she said it was actually not that funny.
It's because she started laughing.
No, but
and
when
I
you're
started
in,
crying
also it's something about
laughter.
sisters, me and my sister could say something that is actually objectively not funny and we'll laugh for an hour, even though sometimes we actually hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. My sister and I would have the worst arguments growing up, and then
Same would we actually.
like it would be awful, and then literally 8 seconds later it'd be like, yeah, but do you want to play Monopoly?
Yeah.
And then we'd play for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like what happens now, I feel like it's like usually I'm the one who gets like upset or whatever. I'll literally like wait 5 minutes, cool down, and then come into her and be like, sorry. And then that would be it, back to normal.
see, I respect that you say sorry to each other. My sister would never.
Or she'd come into my room laughing at the most cracked reel. There was once, it wasn't funny. It was just, what made it funny was that she came into my room at like 3 a.m. went onto my floor and started laughing. Like, she's just laying there
Kill me.
laughing.
Yeah, but at 3 a.m. anything's funny.
Yeah,
There's
no.
also nothing worse than finding a video really funny, showing someone, and they're like, and you're like, part of me died in that moment. Yeah, cool.
To be fair, you were laughing.
No, it was because I was so delusional.
Yeah, but I hit the jackpot with those reels.
Why is it always at like 3 a.m. that they're
Oh
so
my
good?
God.
TikTok slaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's because it knows.
It
The
knows. It's
algorithm
trying to keep you
knows.
there.
Yeah, that's actually very true. TikTok, stop it.
Stop it now. If
Get
you're
us-
TikTok, if you're watching,
Push
stop
off
it.
TikToks.
Yeah, push our TikToks, please, rather than giving us cracked reels. We've had enough. We've had it up to here. I think we should carry on.
Let's continue.
Interlude.
How has the way you speak to yourself about your body changed over time?
Oh, that's so cute. I think of, so as women, again, like brains not nice to each other, like not nice to ourselves. I always think, would I say that to my younger sister? My younger sister's 13, and I think actually she's been a blessing for me in so many ways, because I think the way I look at myself in the mirror, the way I speak to myself, especially when I'm at home around her, is directly impacting her. And so I'm so conscious of it, and I always think, like, if someone else said that, if my best friend said that, what would I say? I just treat myself like I'm not me, because you can't be trusted with yourself. But I'm like, oh, if my best friend said that to herself, what would I say? If my sister said that to herself, what would she say? And like trying to be a role model for her. So, you know, our parents, I don't know, similar to yours or not, but like my mum grew up in the time of supermodels, Kate Moss, super skinny, you know, cigarettes for breakfast and nothing else. And therefore the way that she speaks to herself used to be, she's much better, but like same with my grandma, the way they speak about themselves and their bodies and stuff directly impacted me growing up, seeing that. And so now I'm very hot on it with my sister, and I say to my mum, like, you can't, you know, it's important, because it is like monkey see, monkey do. Like
why is your brain like that?
100%. So it's being conscious. It's been great for me. It's being conscious when I'm at home about it. And then here, it's hard when you kind of I don't live alone, but like it's hard when you live away from family and people who aren't here all the time. But you just have to, I think as I get older, I'm realizing how much like I do love my body and what it can do for me. Again, calisthenics has been amazing, because it's like, yeah, okay, I feel this way about my body today, but how cool is it that it's come back from 2 surgeries and it's really strong and it coaches and it can do ring muscle ups finally, and like all these kind of things, and also like having that support. So like Ed is super supportive, and then having supportive friends, and I know I can like text Grace and be like, I'm having a really rough day, and I know she'll have something positive to say. So it's just having that support network, and also knowing that I'll probably feel really hot again tomorrow because I'll probably enter a different phase of the month tomorrow, and like you just can't be trusted at certain times.
It's actually freaky how like your mood can just switch off in like
it's horrible.
Switch in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, mine switches every like minute, but usually like the next day you could feel a lot better.
Yeah, so much better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to go to sleep also.
Or eat.
Or eat. Most of the time I'm just hangry.
Most of the time it is just you need to eat.
Yeah.
Get some food in you, because gosh.
Dangerous otherwise. Yeah.
For the star of the weeks, we've got a little like star anagram.
Cute.
So we've got S. What has been a standout moment for you recently, or a notable one in training or just in life in general?
Getting my ring muscle up.
Nice.
Change the game for me, because that was something that I was like, I always wanted, and I was like, I'm actually never going to be strong enough to do. And especially when you first start, as you guys know, when you came to the workshop, when you first start working on ring stuff, I mean, you're already both really strong, but when you first start working on those ring things, you're like, I get what she's showing me, but I don't ever see myself doing that. And so when it finally happened, I was like, oh my God, okay, like I can do it. And it is, it is possible.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that's happened for me in training this year.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Really
Love
proud
it.
of you.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, Ness has just got hers as well. Yay! You next.
Yes. 2026.
2026, ring muscle up pending.
Pending, guys. What is like a teachable lesson that you learned from it?
That things you really have to work for things if you want them. Like the things that are really worth having are going to be difficult. And if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
I don't see many people doing ring muscle up, especially guys as well. Like guys don't ring muscle up because it's hard.
Not everyone can.
No.
They can do
Even
like
if you
straight
bar,
Yeah.
bar muscle ups.
So I think just knowing that, like, also knowing, I've said this so many times now, but you actually can achieve anything you want to. You just have to be willing to be a bit rubbish at it to start with. Like, I can't tell you how many sessions I had that I was frustrated, that I was just like, this is never going to happen, that I tore the skin off, like, the side of my wrist. And, like, you just, it's so worth the feeling of then doing it and being like, cool, got it. Smashed it.
Application, how did it impact your training? Whether that be, like, on the day or going forward?
It's something that I really had to work towards. So now that I have a coach, I was like to him, this is what I want. And so a lot of our training stopped for other things. So like my endurance in terms of like pull-ups and dips definitely took a hit because you can't work on everything all at once. So like my weighted reps for pulls and dips and stuff are not very good, but that's because I don't do weighted reps.
Yeah.
So again, sometimes I compare myself to other people's weighted stuff and I'm like, yeah, but I'm like same strength level as them, so why can't I pull that? It's like, well, because I've been doing something else. So yeah, sometimes you have to take a step back in other areas to go forwards with this. But now that I've unlocked this and now that I'm working on this, I'm able to do a couple of ring muscle ups at the beginning of each session to tick over, then go into my weighted stuff. So it's like, it can come back around. You just can't do it all at once. Not if you want to make real progress. You have to pick one thing or a couple of things. Yeah.
You've kind of touched on reflection for our, what would you pass on to other people? But I guess you kind of did that.
Yeah, pick a goal, go for it, and like get specific about it. If you really want something, get specific about it. I ask people when they start coaching with me or training with me, I'm like, what do you want? And they're like, oh, just kind of want to feel strong, want to be able to move my body weight. And yeah, but what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you actually want? What is most important to you? Do you want to get a pull-up first? Because we can get your pull-ups, dips, and push-ups, all of them. But like if you really want your pull-ups first, we're going to do a lot more pull. And yeah, you may not be as strong in the other stuff, but like, let's really hone in on, I mean, we'll always do the basics first, but like, if you're telling me you really want a ring muscle up, you're not going to be able to do weighted stuff yet, or we're not going to focus on weighted stuff. So don't be afraid to like really go for something, because you can come back to the other stuff.
Yeah.
And also do your handstands.
We love it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of concludes it.
Are we not going to do this or that?
Yeah. You want to say them?
Are we going to speed run it?
Yeah, you got to answer
quick.
them
This
as
or that?
quickly as possible.
You got like 0 seconds to answer.
You can add any if you think of them as well.
Yeah, I probably won't like think of any, but if I do, I will.
You can add something. Yeah, no.
Yes or no?
Any other joke? What joke? That was not
Yes
not
or no?
funny.
Welcome to the this or that
Oh,
segment.
I get it. Yes.
Oh, thanks, Charlie. She introduced it for us. You're slacking.
Yeah.
This or that. Let's get it. Statics or dynamics?
Statics.
Alone or with others?
With others.
Short focus sessions or long release ones? What?
Relax ones. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sorry, I can't do
I
this
want to
quickly.
say short focus, but I talk too much, so long.
Nice. Training first thing in the morning or late at night?
Late at night. Used to be a first thing in the morning girl, but now I need some food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to like actually
Yeah, I
wake
need
up.
to be awake. Need to have had 3 tensings.
Valid. Valid that. Oh. My child.
Wait, you're going to lose your mic.
Oh no. It's lasted so long, to be fair. Planned sessions or training by feel?
Planned.
One main goal or multiple focuses?
One.
Yep. Since it's Christmas, mince pies or gingerbread?
Oh.
How is this the one that's
I'm going to have to
stumped you?
say gingerbread.
Yeah, facts.
Because I love mince pies so much, but one year I had too many and they've lost their spark.
Fair. I don't know, I don't mind them, but they're just not, I would never reach for them.
Okay, your turn. This or that. Where's the answer? Where's the page?
It's at the very end. It's
Okay.
those. They're the same ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I know because I'm reading them.
Ooh, but guys.
Okay. This or that. Statics or dynamics?
Do you want
Statics.
statics? Well, I'd like to.
Statics for now.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll never catch me doing freestyle. I don't want to rip my hands.
I
I'd
want
like
to
to.
try, but
Do
I'm
you?
like so scared. Like I wouldn't do it without like 5
yeah,
mats.
yeah.
I
Five's
didn't do it
excessive.
till I can touch the floor, and I'll just use the floor for it.
Training alone or with others?
Alone.
With others.
That surprises me from you.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, oh, you know what? It depends on my mood, but I do. Oh, actually. No, you know what it is? It's because I train alone
Yeah.
usually, and I love training alone because I can really like lock in.
Mm.
But like sessions hit different when you're with others, and
No, they
like
do.
those are the ones that like motivate me and make me feel like happy. Like I
Yeah.
feel happy after I've trained, but like I feel ecstatic after I've trained with others.
Yeah. It's different.
So,
Short focus sessions or long relaxed ones?
I prefer short focus just because I am alone and I just like to like.
Get in, get out.
Gym is my space.
Yeah.
It's for me.
usually short focus, but it's like the one before, like with others, long relax. Like,
Yeah,
like you said.
Training first thing or late night?
Late night.
Yeah.
I just think it's so much nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, am I right?
Planned sessions or training by feel?
Planned.
Difficult one, but I'm gonna have to go with training by feel. But I
Yeah.
feel
That will
like
change,
that's
though.
not. Yeah.
We got to change that for you. Got to
Yeah.
get you on a program.
I need to change
Yeah.
that. It's unfortunately it's training by feel right now.
Yeah. One main goal or multiple?
You know what? I like having multiple, but I like having like one priority and then multiple. Like
I think that's
little
also
ones.
different with you because you're doing.
Powerlifting.
Yeah, so,
and
like,
I'd want to keep
By
up
definition,
Cali.
you have
Yeah.
3. You also have
Yeah.
squat, bench, deadlift. You have 3 goals there,
Yeah.
and then your Cali stuff as well. So, yeah.
I'm trying to integrate. I'm trying to take a step back from Cali, focus on powerlifting now that it's like winter. There's not as many
Yeah.
events, but like also integrate the Cali into like because obviously with deadlifts like pull ups help,
Yeah.
with bench dips help
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love for it to be one main goal, but unfortunately, like there's just so much I want to do
Yeah.
that I don't know.
Cali or weightlifting?
Cali.
Weightlifting.
Sorry. Training inside or outside?
Ooh, inside because I lift weights. Although there was a gym that I went outside, and in the summer it is gorgeous. Like lifting weights outside in the summer is honestly so nice.
Summer outside with other people.
Although I think
Gated.
Yeah.
think outside trainings in the winter, if you don't need to like, because obviously when you're holding weights and it's rainy, it's just like they're gonna slip out your hands and
Yeah.
chalk doesn't do anything. But like running,
Why are you
if-
training outside in the rain?
I don't know. Do you know what I think? If I
Connecting with
ran,
nature.
yeah,
Touch some grass.
no, yeah. Although there's not really grass here, it's touching mud.
Yeah. Concrete.
Yeah, facts. If I ran, I reckon. Oh, it's like walking in the dark to and from the gym. There's just something that I just feel so
No,
like
it's- yeah.
powerful. I can't
Aura
describe it.
exuding
Yeah,
from
it
you.
just feels like an aura. I can't describe it.
Yeah, I get that. Push or pull?
Push.
Pull.
Do you think you're stronger in pull? Is that why? Are you stronger in push? Yeah, see, I'm
Hate
stronger in
pull.
push as
I
well.
hate pull, actually.
I
Uh,
can't do push.
Cali wise, 1 rep max or endurance? Like weighted or endurance?
1 rep max, but that's
'cause you're-
powerlifting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with endurance for this one.
But what? We need to run this back, and you.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I had one. Handstands or pull-ups?
Handstands.
I'm actually really getting to love pull-ups, but handstands still kind of tops it.
I just hate pull. I've lost them because of my, not all of them, but like I've lost my progress so much because of like withdrawals and trainings that I just
don't
love them. You know what I think? Like you said with the ring muscle up, it's a mental block, and I don't know what it is because I know I have the strength.
Yeah.
Like I have the pull strength for them, and I can do them. It's just like the quantity is just so rubbish that I don't even want to train them. But like obviously you have to get them up. But yeah, just hate them.
That's the end of my this or that. Thank you for coming.
Loved it.
Thank you. I like
Thanks for
the
being on my
addition.
podcast.
Of course, anytime. But no,
Oh wait, sorry, mince pies or gingerbread?
gingerbread by far.
But I'd have a bowl of custard over any of them.
Yuck.
Outrageous.
No, but the only good thing about mince pies is that you can have them with custard.
You could have gingerbread with custard. You're an adult. There are no rules.
That's
You
true.
can do whatever you like.
That is rancid. Anyone who does that, please go.
Please unsubscribe. If
No,
you do
no,
that.
no. Actually, I take that
Wait,
back.
no, stay.
We love custard and gingerbread. Please subscribe.
Please stay.
If you eat at all, subscribe. If you eat
If you
anything,
need to eat every at least every other day to survive, subscribe. You never know. Some people
Who
fast.
are your audience?
I don't know. We need to
Actually don't
determine
know,
that. We've got...
Need to look at your analytics.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having
Of
me.
course, first.
This was so fun.
We really liked it.
I like being called a star. So
Alright. Well, I think the mic's had enough because she just flicked it off.
sorry, guys.
But yeah, bye, Munchkins.
Bye, Munchkins.
bye munchkins.
There was one that just completely cut off and we didn't realise, and then we had to watch it back and we were like, right, so we've just lost an entire section.
And that was the end of like a really rough day, so we were so
Yeah.
annoyed.
I feel like I
having
remember
it.
seeing something
Yeah,
about
it
you
was-
saying you had to refilm something.
Probably.
Horrible.
Yeah. We had to refilm a whole episode as well.
That's what I'm thinking
yeah.
of. Why? What happened with that?
Because I was not smart and didn't check. When we tested, we didn't test it. No, there was one time we
didn't
didn't
have the
test it at all. The mics didn't work, and then the lighting was awful. There was another time where we tested it and we didn't watch it back. So we didn't
Yeah,
like.
it was a video of a test going wrong, and then we decided to record.
No, we didn't even watch the test back to see that we went wrong, and then we recorded it and we're like,
Oh shit.
should have watched the test. And then there was another time where it just switched off during our filming, so we had to film like a, okay, bye, guys.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't too bad
No,
because we
that
literally just like
It's
we
just
were
the
so
end.
fed up that we
Yeah.
were just like, it doesn't even matter. We'll
No
film a
one
little
needs
vlog now.
Guys, can I just say I'm really loving the spatulas?
I really
really rate them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe you have to get some like a.
I think we should.
You should get them and have
personalise
them.
them.
Yeah. You
Okay,
should
the
get them and
lovers
have
chat.
them. Yeah, get wooden spoons and get them engraved or something.
We should get.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
get wooden spoons and then get Sash to like
Yeah.
Our older
paint
sister.
it. She's an artist, not
Yeah.
just an art teacher.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that with
Yeah.
the lovers chat with our logo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
sorry,
cute.
let's
Have
get
But
one
them.
no,
dark
I
green
think
and
you
one
should have like. I think you
light
should
green.
have Nessa and Arena on each one, and then you should have it say like the Love Us Chat or something at the bottom.
love
So it should
that.
like be personalised at the bottom, but it's your names on there.
That's so cute.
Love
And then we
it.
can get one for the star.
Yeah, that just says Star of the Week.
You're
Sorted.
actually a genius.
Sorted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna set up a GoFundMe.
For microphones and wooden spoons.
Guys, if
Yeah.
you want to send us gifts, you're welcome to. We just told you what we
Alternatively,
want.
just watch all of these episodes all the way through,
Yeah.
get them monetized.
And tell your friends.
Some people told their friends last time. Tell more friends. Tell 2 friends this week.
New
Make it
challenge.
5.